What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about tech topics in under 5 minutes. Today, we're gonna talk about something a little different. Hopefully something interesting. I wonder what my manager would feel if he saw this video. Alright, let's get started. Today, we're gonna talk about the 3 worst mistakes I've made as a new grad. Number 1, from least to most offensive. While making a production change to a field that our API populated, I had a really simple and stupid syntax error, which of course led to multiple cascading failures downstream, and a bunch of work on our service failed and had to be retried. In case you're curious about what language it was, yes, it was Python, because Python is dumb, and only in Python is this kind of shit okay, and the language does not complain. Lesson learned. Always unit test and integration test your changes, no matter how small you think they are. I opened up this pull request and it was 5 lines long, and I thought I could get away without testing it, and obviously I was wrong. In case you're thinking that I'm the biggest idiot for pushing a change to production without testing it, 1, you are right, and 2, I'm pretty sure my manager felt the same way. Number 2, I was making some production database changes, and while I was doing this, I made some changes to the makefile as well to make my life easier while I was testing the changes. I may or may not have hard-coded the database password into the makefile, which I then, of course, subsequently pushed to Git. Of course, 30 minutes later, I got a really nice Slack message from my manager saying that he had assigned to me a ticket to change out our database passwords, and of course, at this point, I was like, why do we need to change out our database password? It wasn't until I took a look at my pull request, and I was like, I am so stupid, I can't believe I just did that. I spent the next day switching out all of our services passwords, which are definitely not what I wanted to be spending my day doing, and of course, my manager thought I was the biggest idiot. Lesson learned, never hard code production secrets in plain text into any sort of files, and always double check before you push to Git. Last, the absolute worst mistake that I've made as a new grad was regarding some data cleanup that we were doing on one of our cloud buckets. Now, if you're not familiar with what a bucket is, it's basically a file system where you can store a lot of files on the cloud. I'll post some quick links down below where you can read up more about what these buckets are in depth. Anyways, I was basically in charge of reducing the lifecycle policy on our buckets so we didn't have to store a bunch of historical data because we found that our customers didn't really access this data anyways. The project was supposed to bring significant cost savings to our team, and it would have been a real feather in my cap. Of course, 6 weeks later, I got this Slack message from my manager basically saying that our bucket had not been reduced at all and it was in fact still increasing in size. Took a look at that config, and there was a setting that I missed, of course, which meant that no objects were getting deleted, and we were basically setting cache on fire. We were burning cache. There was no other way around it. I was honestly not sure my badge would still work the next day. Lesson learned, always double check your production changes. If I just went back 4 or 5 days later, I would have noticed that our bucket was definitely still growing exponentially and none of it had been deleted, and all of this could have been avoided. I did some quick calculations, and the money that we should have been saving, but instead we were still spending, I would have to work for 6 years at my current salary in order to pay back the company. Alright, those are my top 3 mistakes that I've made as a new grad since I started working. You never want to be that person making that mistake, but if I've learned anything from making these mistakes, then it's definitely that 1, you should always take responsibility for your mistakes, and 2, you should always work on fixing your mistakes as soon as possible if you're able to. Don't worry, companies won't fire you for these simple, honest mistakes. In fact, at one of our next one-on-ones, my manager told me that he didn't see any of these as a mistake as long as I was learning from them, which is honestly really reassuring to hear. Alright, so there you have it. Hopefully this video helps you avoid some of the same stupid mistakes that I've made, whether you're entering the workforce as a new grad or even an intern, or you might already be an industry veteran. I guess I'm just glad that I haven't dropped any tables yet. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Leave a like and subscribe down below if you did, and drop a comment on what's the worst mistake you've made since you started working, or if you haven't started working, what's the worst mistake that you're afraid of making once you do. Follow me on social media. I'm dropping new videos every week. Thanks.